Some modifications and activities discussed in this podcast should not be attempted or recreated. Make sure to keep the mods legal and obey the laws of the road and keep routine ages.
And on that note, here's some clips from this week's podcast.
Well, that's going to divide opinion, isn't it? Because
I don't agree with that.
I don't fully agree with that.
I don't
either.
agree with that at all. This was a fantastic lap and route. TripAdvisor would rate 5 out of 5.
You're a fucking cunt. You're a fucking cunt.
Magherafelt lap and route. Of all the lap and routes I have visited, this has to truly be one of the best. Oh, that rules out all my... Oh, Boke. Oh. Well, that's what wheel adapters are for.
You are an awkward bastard, aren't you?
I'd just be like telling people, I'd be like, sit in my car and listen to this. Now, looking back, that maybe sounds kind of creepy, but like, I should have thought about that before he said that.
You creepy bastard.
There was a way we didn't want to give you keys to the cars.
It wasn't that bad.
At one time going down a slope and managed to blow all the Azapon out of the back arch that I didn't know was there.
I thought that was metal. That's not metal.
No.
Hello everyone, welcome to the LSD podcast, or Limited Slip Differences, a podcast where we talk all things Northern Ireland car scene and the Irish car scene, some things about the agri life as well, and also a wee bit in lorries, sure why not. In this podcast, episode 2, we're going to begin it with talking about felt spec.
This is going to be a good one.
This will divide opinions. So
actually, what I was able to do, if you go onto Google, there is a definition for felt spec.
Google has a fucking definition for felt spec.
Google has a definition for felt spec.
Felt spec is moving up in the world.
It's got an internet. It's famous. It's famous. It is. Felt spec is said to have originated in and is named after the town Magherafelt in County Derry / Londonderry. If you see on the Magherafelt wiki page, you will see a felt spec Golf in the town centre picture. Brilliant. Felt spec is the art of badly modifying a vague diesel car.
Well, that's going to divide opinion, isn't it? Because
I don't agree with that.
I don't fully agree with that.
I don't
either.
agree with that at all.
Well, realistically, we had the joys of being able to go to Magherafelt every bloody weekend. Whenever we were younger, every day of the bloody week. And enjoy and bask in the glory that is felt spec cars.
Do you think we maybe missed the glory days a little bit?
We did.
I think we came in at the tail end.
Yes and no. Like, if you think about it, whenever we were starting to sort of drive, cruise, lap around Magherafelt, there was still a lot of felty cars, the original felty cars about.
I just remember there being like one night in like, I think it was like 2015. And this is back when the town was like still fairly big. I mean, you make it the odd night where it's still big now, but... And I can remember Vosa come in.
Yes.
And trawled the entire car park.
So they fucking love to do that, don't they?
Well, yeah, I know. We can talk about that one on our podcast. But and see, after that, it was kinda...
Well, you personally were involved more so than myself before in the past. Like, I only sort of suppose joined in like 2014, 2015. And you and another few lads basically had a cruise going, and you said you gridlocked that town.
Yeah, that was back in the Magherafelt cruise night days.
They were good days, to be fair.
Yeah, that was good. We gridlocked Magherafelt. That was class, actually.
But anyway, Michael, what is the felt spec car?
In my opinion.
Yes, in your opinion.
In my opinion, I think you might agree with me in this bit.
Yes. Okay. What is it?
I suppose there's true felt and there's felty.
Yes, yes.
Does that make sense? Do you know
it's
what
like having a low car and a lowered car, because I could have a lowered car and it'd be fucking sky high.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, true felt is like, well, like we're going to say D-turbos.
Oh, yes.
D-turbos, like...
You look in the fucking... You see an image and it describes felt spec. Yes, the Google says about the Golfs and that, but before that...
But, like, that's what I mean. That's why I don't agree with it, because in me, like... The whole idea is like, screw diesel pump.
Yes.
You can't screw a Mark IV Golf.
It's probably why people engine swap HDIs for turbo engines, so they can be screwed instead of mapped.
Well, I think, and there will be someone who is higher educated in the art of the felt than I am, will come on, but I nearly think the HDI rods, specifically HDI rods, are much stronger. So if you're looking to build a big boost, XUD9, which is the 1.9 D turbo engine.
Yes.
I believe.
Uh-huh.
That's like the way to go about it. we're getting a bit maybe too
You're
technical.
going technical
I
again,
am
lad.
going
Lad, you're going on this field.
Anyway, so back, kind of bringing it back a bit. True felt, in my opinion, is like D-turbos, like
yes,
buried on their volcanoes or cyclones.
buried 4 necks.
See, mine was 3 necks, and I like to say mine was still quite felty.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So, but yeah, like, I mean, 4 necks. Well, it's 3 necks, no bump stops. Is the fourth neck,
Basically, yeah.
the legendary fourth neck,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. But and then you've kind of got, like, as you say, like your Toledos,
yeah.
Boras. Like, yes, they are still. They're maybe not the first thing that comes to mind, but like, but like, they're kind of the popcorn limiter and all that. There,
It's
like,
more like a newer age of people that's doing.
I mean,
felt spec.
you're going to see the pictures. Like, there is that. I think there's that picture of the Toledo, the silver Toledo.
Yeah.
I think it actually might be photoshopped, which broke my heart hearing that years later on a set of A5s. Silver one looks class.
Yes.
There's like all the reek up the back, and like, to me, that's pure felt.
Yeah.
You've also got the likes of Rovers.
Oh, yes.
Unreal.
Yes,
Kind of
yes.
like maybe the hidden hero, I guess, because like obviously everyone rants and raves about 306s, and like obviously Mark 4s have, well, 306s have shot through the roof.
Oh, completely.
Mark 4s are now you could probably get I'd say you could probably get a Mark 5.
Zara's as well. We're forgetting
Can't
Zara's.
get one. Can't get a Zara. Or the old ZX Vulcans.
Oh,
man.
yes, class.
But like Rovers kind of like, here, Rovers can shift.
Oh, here, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to make myself out to be a bit of a dick here, but they can take tight bars and they can beat them.
Oh, then they shit the head gasket out like 20 seconds later.
Well,
Unless
it's time
they're
going
done
by in VTEC, but sure.
Well, yeah, like, it's just, I think they're soft. There used to be one, I think, from down the country. I'm thinking Banbridge.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure.
Like a burgundy one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen one. I seen it one night.
Was that not from Ballymoney direction, that one?
I thought it was like down the country. Did it have Kane mud flaps on it?
I'm
Had like
I'm
a
not
hybrid
unsure.
turbo or something on it. Like, it was that heavy screwed, I think. Either done 4 engines on the turbo,
Yeah.
or it done 4 turbos and then they hybrided it. And apparently it would just eat anything off the road.
Yeah.
It was like 230 brake or something like that.
Fuck.
There.
That
Fuck
is.
knows how much torque.
So, realistically, what you're saying is your opinion. So 306D turbos. Is there any other standout felt cars? Like, you say original felt cars?
Would you class like Sierras and Omegas as felt?
Well, have you seen them Magherafelt? You would, I suppose.
Because Omegas, definitely, I think, because you've got the lowered, say, like,
Yeah.
Cavaliers and stuff, I guess, would be felty too. Like, a set of like a 1.7 T
Oh, totally,
Cavalier. Even a red top's felty looking, but specifically like a Cavalier or like maybe a Mark III Astra on like a set of fan blades or something like that. Like,
Yeah. Like, sort of the smaller wheels, bigger tyres, and just completely buried. Well, I don't know about you, but completely buried at the back and not so buried at the front.
well, see, that's kind of where I would say where you kind of go into this sort of crossover between true felt and felty.
Yes.
So, like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
for instance, I would say all that stuff is felt, but I don't want to throw out the term classic status, but they kind of are, like, especially like 306s and them Rover
Well,
200s
yeah.
and 220s and stuff like that now. Like, you see one now, you probably will take a second glance. Even a nicely done up Mark IV, you'll kind of go,
Well, realistically, then, they are the original felt cars.
yeah, well,
The original ones that started the whole felt spec sort of stuff going. And now you have, as like anything, newer cars are getting older.
yes.
People are getting. So I suppose they're not as they're more willing basically to fucking make them more like a felt car, like more like your 306 with a reverse rake as we talk about, but just
and
more
you
lowered at the
see
back.
So many, like, and this is maybe where maybe me and you kind of both take the felt spec hat off, because obviously, like, we know where we come from.
Yeah, of course.
We're local boys. We're farmers. We we do have an eye for that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
I'm sorry, it's when you see like someone driving like a Mark II Leon, and it's sitting buried at the back.
with deep skirts and a standard front bumper.
Standard front bumper,
Deep
and
skirts.
and then like it like up about like maybe looks like it's in Lawrence, but like 40 mile at the front.
Yeah,
and it's like why
with no springs in the back, sort of thing.
Yeah, maybe Corsa 60s, so like 3 coils and an adjuster kind of thing, and they're like, "Oh, lad, she's stacked," and I'm like, "Yeah, you can't go over speed bumps because you trail the exhaust off, but like, I can see my future in your, like, sort of between your splitter and the ground, and it's not pretty."
Well, it's like so what you're saying is it's easier to make the car lower at the back than it is the front.
Ah, well, I mean, like for years, like people were guilty of putting like bricks and sandbags and all that sort of shit in the back.
Sure, where would you get that stuff?
Haven't, like sort of maybe going springs too low where your springs may or may not fall out when you jack the car up.
Well, I had a Polo. I have to admit, like when I went to get my new tires on at JB's, they used to do some laughing because as soon as they jacked the back of the car up, the 2 springs did fall out.
Yeah, when we talk about felt, it's actually quite funny. So, you get the wheels that came standard in the ZX Vulcan. So Vulcans,
yeah, of course.
You see them on like every like 306 ever. Not particularly my favourite wheel in a 306. Some people,
really,
I like Cyclones. The 5-spokers, the 15-inch 5-spokers.
Yes,
and then obviously from that, Lions.
Stealth, 17-inch Stealths. I do love them.
17. There's actually a 15-inch Stealth like Lion sort of behind that table.
You use that much shite, so you do about.
I really need to sell them. If anyone wants to buy them, let me know. All the center caps there as well. That's a big deal. You might not know that, but that's a big deal. But anyway, before we got to that, we were talking about so the car raised up, like sitting basically not low at the front at all.
Arse down, face up.
Yeah. So, and it's like, why? And they're like, oh, I can't turn the wheel anymore. It's like, yeah, that's what low profile tires are for.
Of course, and stretch, and then obviously you sort of calculate your stretch and that, and then you can roll your arches, and that does help.
You can roll your arches. That does help. Oh yeah, we've actually. I remember now. So we've kind of gone on 2 different tangents here. This is why you're supposed to keep me right. So remember I was saying about Vulcan wheels.
Yes, of course.
Well, do you remember my old 207?
Who wouldn't?
Well, this was before the days of the hydraulic and all this fancy boy stuff.
Oh, yes.
And there was one night we decided to try a set of Vulcans on my 207.
How did that go?
Do you know what? It didn't look horrendous. Because that was back when I had like the wee Clio springs in and like literally used to jack the car up and the springs just went plunk.
Fun fact. Sure, mine, we tried Clio springs in the Polo.
Did it make a difference?
It actually made it higher.
See, Polo I would say is probably softer. Them Clio springs were like quite small, but they were very, very compressed.
I have since gave them same springs. So I ran, the Polo, done stupid amount of miles in it, way over 100,000 miles on the car, completely buried all the time. And
to say probably about 130.
More even, maybe,
Jesus.
more than that.
Did you ever change the clutch in that car?
Never changed the clutch.
That's impressive.
Well, unlike you trying to do a 3rd gear pull in the Civic, I'm actually quite easy in a car, But anyway, so I had since gave the springs to a fella with a Mark V Jetta, and the thing tailed, adjuster still in, but it's whatever way the spring sort of, the bottom part of it sat inside the top part. So instead of a beehive type spring like the Corsa, where
it's just like a same size
so
all the way down.
it more or less sort of set itself inside the spring, so to speak.
Yeah.
But enough about the Polo. What would you class then? So the 306 and that is more your classic felt. What would you say is more the new school sort of felt? Because at the end of the day, as you say, 306s are getting dear. Like everything else in 2023, they are getting harder to get. Same with Zara's. What would you say?
Zara or 306 sedan, can't get them either. Or 405. Deadly.
Are they all rotten?
Rotten in ditches, probably broke. A lot of them do rot. I think they tend to go at the back passenger arch. Is one of the real places for them, and then it's just like all old cars from like that was built in the 1990s. They just seem to, you look at them funny and they rot. Plus, they were driven through the winter, and like they were,
nobody gave a fuck about
nobody
them.
gave a fuck, especially like
they were a first car for a lot of people.
Yeah, or just a family car, or just like like just type of thing. You picked it up and just drove it on, kind of like the way we treat our cars, like your car and my car. The way like we daily drive them, like you don't
really care so much. You have your weekend car.
Probably should wash out underneath the bore. I probably should get an MOT wash just to keep it right.
So,
But that's it. Again,
what is the new school felt?
see, we actually... So the cars that I'm going to suggest now are probably... They're older now than obviously when we first started seeing this style.
Of course. Oh, well,
coming
sure.
in
It's like, I know we
5,
all get
6,
older.
7, 8 years
Yeah,
ago.
of course.
And I think it was either Marty or Calvin coined the term Felt Plus, which at the time I thought
What
was...
the fuck is Felt Plus?
So it was like B8 A4s, like kind of like E60s, like 520, 530Ds.
So the fancier side of things.
Kind of like executive, but they were tiled. Like, I mean, on the ground. Like, so A4 maybe in a set of 19s in it, literally trailing the floor, full tints all around. You'd look at it and go, that's felty. But it's not felt spec. Do you know what I mean? So, like, that's kind of what I said. You get true felt and you've got felty. So you'd look at something.
So it's like the modern interpretation, or well, the kind of modern interpretation of what has been in the past.
So I'm probably going to get a bit of backlash for saying this in both ways, because there's going to be people who, obviously, the art of the felt is their life, and they're going to go, you're wrong. And then there's also, like, all the show car people who are going to look at me and go, you're wrong. But, like,
Well,
that
you're more than likely are wrong.
I don't think I am. But see, like, so, like, see B8 A4s and
Yeah,
like
of course.
530Ds
Uh-huh.
just tiled on like a set of like, I'm not, I mean, some people do run bags to get that look, which also looks class, but I'm not like, you're not going on your show car wheels or your rotoforms or your 3-piece splits. Like, I'm saying like maybe Vemans, or if it's a BM, like a set of Spiders. You know,
course, yeah.
or if maybe even a Merc, like a set of Vemans.
Like
Just tiled.
directionals.
Yeah, ZZR directionals or something like that there, like, and just tiled. Well, a Maxton kit or something.
It's like the
Just looks so good.
full tents as
Oh,
well.
has to be.
You can't see out the window.
You can't, like, literally, you could give
But nobody
someone,
can see you.
You could give someone the middle finger, and they can't see you. That kind of thing.
Like, you'd wonder if there was any madness going on in the BCP car park back in the day with all the, the full tents.
I don't want to get into that conversation. But, like, let's be honest, probably.
One thing happened actually last year, which we both appreciated. So we went in your wee Ford Sierra pickup, also known as the P100, and we seen a lineup of cars that I can't mind the last time I had seen them.
There was, I think it was like
four or five D turbos just lined up, and it was fucking cool.
Class. I think there was a white one, red one, Kingfisher green. Was there a yellow one? Like a blaze yellow? Like
Could have
that
been.
gold colour?
I do have a photo of it, but obviously I don't have it at hand.
Oh, I remember seeing that, and I was just like, I mean, they were all young cubs.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like, I think they were all maybe like 18 tops.
But then again, a 306 was always like the young person's car.
I don't want to say it's like your dream car. Like, it's not. But I don't think it's unrealistic to say that it's your dream, like, not your dream first car. Do you know what I mean? Like,
they seem to now be getting to the status where the likes of some people are buying really clean examples or well-ish known examples. Like, it's the whole thing. It's like twin cams. You, for one, know every fucking number plate that there is. But what I mean is, they're buying the clean ones, they're keeping them, and they're kind of restoring them to a certain degree, and they're keeping them good.
yeah, which I think...
Whereas if we had been smart back in the day, we would have like bought a couple and kept them, and they're worth upwards of $5-6 grand.
Well,
a really clean one, and
you do hear of story. Now, I don't know how true it is. Like, I think I've heard of Kingfisher Greens going for $7,000, but it might have sold for $3,000, and then all of a sudden it sold for $4,000. Then it sold for $5,000. Yada yada yada. Chinese whispers. The story goes on. But I have heard of boys putting them up for $4 grand, and the for sale ad not been there anymore. So, like, if it's a properly clean car, I don't want to say it's worth it, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not worth it, because, like, you look at anything from that era or further back, like, you buy a shitty one and you want to make it good. How much are you going to spend making it good?
Well, that's
a lot of
the
money.
ultimate question. Yeah, of course.
Buy a clean one to begin with. I can't believe I'm saying this. Spend $2.5 grand on a 306 that's absolutely immaculate. and she's not going to cost you that much more. Whereas you could buy.
It's like buying a Lexus in England at the time. You were fit to get them a lot cheaper, and then people exploited it, obviously, brought them over here, kitted them, and then all of a sudden they're, instead of maybe £1,000 car, they're a £5,000 car.
Well, it's, like, and you've a good story on Alexis, and we'll probably get to that one in another, because we could do a full episode on an IS200, or at least
totally.
a full segment, like,
Completely.
as much as we both hate to say it, like, such an iconic car.
But in other terms, Michael, what would be your ultimate felt wagon?
My ultimate felt wagon? Like, I have two.
Hey, there's never one, is there?
No, okay.
Never just one?
So, my probably... There's the one I would think is like the ultimate felt wagon.
Yeah.
And there's what I personally would love to own.
What would you personally love to own?
I would love a navy blue 405. Big bumpers.
Yes.
So, is it SRDTs maybe? They're GRDTs, like maybe the highest spec one, like the ones that you can literally, like they had like a phone in the center console.
Never knew that existed,
Yeah,
but okay,
like,
fair enough, yeah.
This is off topic. You can actually get a 4x4 405. It's like the ultimate cattle towing wagon.
Do you have a lot of time in your hands?
But I'm there. It's there a 405 or 406. But
why have you not bought one of these? Because you buy some random shite.
Rare's rocking horse shit. Like, anyway,
I thought B100s were Rare's rocking horse shite too.
They are, to be
but you
fair.
have one of them too.
Yeah, well, that's true. But so like a navy one.
Okay.
Light tint all around.
Yes.
And this is the bit where you're kind of gonna go. That's not really felty, but it also kind of is. But it's not felt. This is where I say it's not felt spec, but it's felty. Lowered on Escort Cosworth wheels.
Why do you have to be so fucking different at times? But yes, no.
I see it in my head, and I'm like, the amount of times, even before I bought the P100, I nearly had it. I was actually looking for 405s. Believe it, and the same as a Cavalier. Both times I have had looked for 405s. Can't get them. Get the odd 1.6 petrol.
Yeah, of course.
That is what I would want to have, something that I would love to jump into and drive. Not as a daily, but
just as a wee weekend car for a bit of crack.
Something that you could drive to work once or twice a week and have sitting and just be like, I like that, it's nice.
It's totally me, sort of thing, yeah.
But like true, I suppose, what would I, if you told me to make a true felt spec car?
Yeah.
Diablo Red Phase 1 306 sedan, buried on a set of lions.
That's nice.
Well, just a stainless exhaust, front mount.
Yeah.
Ideally, you'd want to build the engine because, back in the day, we haven't spoke about this.
What have we not spoke about?
The elk.
Oh, fuck I.
Do we?
So it was, so for anybody who didn't know what the elk was, so I'm from sort of Toom direction, and you literally heard it from my house, and I live about 2.5, 3 miles outside Toom, but
those were the days.
Those were the fucking days.
Those were the days.
You drove into Magherafelt for about 7 o'clock. You tooted about, and then you seen the Type R's, the Rovers, the D turbos.
You being a Type R guy, Type R's aren't diesel, but I would 100% describe them as felty.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Like, they're not, like, obviously everyone's like, oh, felt spec, diesel, smoke up the back, riggy limiters, riggy maps, etc., etc. Type R's they're not felt spec.
No.
But they're felty.
But I find Type R's from back in the day at the elk races, so yes, we went into the town anyway, and then we basically followed the whole crowd out. You parked up alongside...
You and your 1.4 Polo, me and my 1.427.
We were cool, lad. We were cool. But you had parked up basically to get a good viewing spot, and you could say like a Type R was like a benchmark.
Yeah.
It was like
if your diesel car beat a Type R, it was sharp.
A Bora once did, and it went fucking viral.
Oh, that was the red one.
No, silver was it not?
There was
Possibly a red
there was
one
the
too.
silver one as well, but there's a video of a red one.
But-
I think it's from Strabane or
But
something.
Type R's aren't inherently that fast.
Yeah, but I mean,
We're talking, I suppose, 7-8 years ago. Because nowadays, if you drive into Magherafelt or that there, you look at any Bora, he's going to have a front mount. He's going to have a pile of dark side stuff on it. Probably going to be running 230, 240. Back in the day, what was it? A 52mm hybrid would have been about 210, 220, 56 or 54 was it?
52 and 56 would have been the two you'd got back then. You heard of the odd 60mm as well. But most people were just driving about in 130s map to 180.
Aye, so
you were never going to be a Type R. And then someone come along with a front mount and everyone was like, holy fuck, that thing's front mounted, that thing's fucking sharp, look at that go.
But everything now
they're
is
all
big
like that.
brick.
No, they're all like that.
No.
Everybody wants to be 240, 260, and then you hear people talking about
Now 300 is the sort of you want to get to it.
You'd love to. You're in the mega money to get that. Like
some people have done, but
yeah. There was that silver one you're talking about. Maybe I'm talking out of my arse here. It was going to go to. It had a DervTech sticker on it.
Yes.
I had a DervTech sticker on it, and sure. I don't know whether it went to DervTech to be mapped or whether it just had a DervTech sticker on it, but it had a lot of work done, and it was fast. And then this is back. There used to be that white. I think it was an EK9.
There was the EK9. I'm near sure it was K20 swap.
Yeah, it was
K20 swap the EK9.
I remember watching it, trying to go by like a wet night at the Elk, and it still spinning like fourth gear in the wet as a just
unreal.
not going anywhere.
It was class.
Just a bounce in the limiter, and it's times like that when you can really see the appeal for like NA power because it just sounded so good. It was screaming the head up, so it was class.
But the Elk was, I suppose you could say, race wars for us. If we're talking Fast and Furious, it was racing. it was basically this.
More brown shoes and check shirts.
yes. It was Fast and Furious meets
and wife beaters. It
was the Agri version of Race Wars. Totally.
It used to be. You get maybe,
and the traffic jams we used to cause.
Oh yeah, and then everyone would drive and go and park in Magherafelt and BCP.
Yes, of course.
I'm getting goosebumps. It was such. I don't want to say what a time to be alive because that makes me seem so sad. But at the same time, you just had to be there.
Oh, totally. There was one instance where we were all standing, I think, out, and a fella came up anyway in his Zara. Must have been a straight D. Had to be a straight D anyway. He says, "Oh, would somebody race or whatever?" And I was like, fuck it, why not for a bit of crack? And I beat him now and then. I was like, I was probably a straight D, to be fair.
There's one night, I think.
But the adrenaline rush from that.
But I had the wee 1.4 HDA 207, and you would not get slower. They were dead.
Of course.
And I can remember going against. It was Cooper's Mark IV, the black 4-door or 5-door in Alfords.
Yes.
And
did he not borrow a set of wheels? And
I know he was in Alfords when I raced him, but or maybe it was the time he was on the steels. That doesn't matter. He was able to put that thing was mapped 10 inches. It had a hybrid.
It was quick. Though. It was very fucking quick.
A quick car, and he was able to plung it in fifth.
and
still beat me. And then there's another time I went against this. I was like, oh, there's a wee Saxo, and went against it. And your man sort of lagged, and I was like, yes, I'm finally beating someone. And then he just went, boom, and I was just like,
fucking dick.
Fuck me. Must have been it must have been a VTS engine or something. Maybe it was an actual VTS, and I just didn't have the brains to realise it was a VTS.
But it's mad to think now that, say you got there about around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and sometimes it literally did go on to 12 o'clock at night.
Once or twice.
And you would have nearly been, you nearly would have been bored at a stage because it was doing away with the novelty of it.
Yeah. It just...
But people came from far and wide for it.
Oh yeah.
You fucking drove from Banbridge.
Yeah, people in Belfast and all used to come down to it. Remember,
imagine driving to the Elk to race.
I can remember one Sunday night Sturgey came down in the S2000. He's from Carrickfergus or something, and I was
that's
just,
fucking mad.
I was just like, this is class. But anyway, that's kind of an off tangent, but that needed to be discussed.
Oh yes,
that 100% needed to be discussed.
So you obviously we'll discuss it in another podcast. But you had the port. The port was sort of
That's
summerish, and then you had it came into the felt.
So it was like Port Sundays and Elk Sundays.
Yes,
Felt Sundays,
oh
Elk
totally.
Sundays. But
It is. It has since branched out at times now to other small towns and villages, but that's another topic for another day.
But anyway, your ultimate felt car, or are you going to do what I would do and have one you'd actually drive, and then the one that you're like.
Realistically, for me, ultimate felt car, suppose would be your 3-door Phase 1, 306, D-turbo, Kingfisher Green, probably, or else,
yes.
no, I don't know that much about them, but like that real nice blue colour in them.
You get Miami blue.
Darker.
Miami blue. If it's a Phase 1, I'm near sure it's Miami blue.
So say Miami blue. That's the light bluish ones. Yes.
Yeah.
So I sound like a dick right now because I don't even know the names. But anyway,
you got Miami blue and you get Sigma blue, and I'm near sure Sigma blue is the color of the hoodie you're wearing. So it's the one that was lighter than that. Yes.
So say Miami blue. Probably would only do about 3 nicks because I don't like to fuck a car these days. So probably 3 nicks. Coilovers at the front. Phase 1 obviously. 3-leg spoiler. CB aerial. Full tents all round. We're probably Bosch Sunstrip. Or
Bosch adjustables.
What was NNA Sunstrip again?
Boost Freak.
That was quite cool.
I actually have a good story about NNA.
D-turbos were the start of let's put my face in front of the fucking exhaust.
Yeah. Well, NNA was...
That was the original one to do it.
Yeah, Connor Kelly's car. So it was like, that's where you see the video of the Portier man literally lying below it and him revving it. I think he had like a Scorpion back box. It was something like that, Scorpion back box.
Do you mean he was parked beside you two one night at the Elk?
Yeah, I was going to actually mention that, but yeah, that was the night I had the one. I was playing about with the hydraulics in the 207, and all the young lads were like, "Oh, do the trick with the car," and I had the one just sitting down. The next thing all I heard was zoom, 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 zoom. Just this big plume of black smoke straight through my window, and I was like, "Fuck!
You're gonna kill me, you bastard!"
Fucker nearly gave me cancer. Like I was like, "Fucking hell!" Like I was, and then like, but anyway, we're good friends now. But like, yeah. Same car, Connor Kelly. So it was back when I had my 306 as well.
Yes,
my Diablo Red. It was a Phase 2, but I'd done up like a HDI. And there was a night that were you there that night in Kilray?
We went karting, but we all drove. You and him drove in 5th gear and banned us by people
through
bikes.
Kilray town one night, and like we were trying to see how much reek we could get out of the cars, and like his was worse. His was worse than mine, to be fair. Like, but the pair of us were just plunging it into 4th and 5th gear at like 20 miles an hour and just overloading them to see how much smoke we could get out the back.
Or even on the way to the karting that night, I think we were all in Connor's car anyway, and like he drove by cyclists at like 25 miles an hour, but the fucking you could see them waving their hands to try and get the fucking smoke out of their faces.
I used to do that as well. Like.
But in regards to a felt car, I personally would like to say drive at the weekend on that. I would have to say Mark IV Golf 3-door.
Oh yeah, Jazz Blue.
Either in the real darks were in the Aviace Blue. So
I was going to say Avis, but I'm pretty sure it's a BMW colour.
Probably. Well, I suppose Jazz Blue's a lighter sort of blue, isn't it?
Yes. Jazz Blue's kind of like a more glossy colour.
Say for argument's sake, probably a red one. Red Mark IV Golf. Sunroof.
Yeah.
Full tents.
PD 130.
PD 130, obviously. Well, no, actually, PD 150.
Oh, do your camshafts.
So the diesel version of the GTA.
GTDDA.
No, not even. They did a diesel GTA. I'm near
sure.
Is
that the anniversary, or did they actually just do a diesel?
It was the PD 150. I think it was anniversary.
Yeah, they were. Were they not only silver and black? But did you get a red one?
We're talking fucking hypothetical, lad.
You could respray it.
Yes. Well, we're talking hypothetical.
No,
so
someone's going to come
on
and go, actually, they did do them in red, you fucking idiot.
We are a fucking idiot.
Well, there is
but sure, anyway. But yes, them Alfords, they got Alfords.
Yes.
For practicality, you'd probably put in the air, but for the sake of this, static. Chassis notched.
Yes.
Engine razors.
Yes.
R32 front bumper, personally.
Yeah.
Deep side skirts and the anniversary rear. So
not
I would
rear personally, but it's your car, so
I never thought about the anniversary or the R-line rear, but it's not you can't really class it as felt. It's more for like show ones would have done it.
It's kind of more show car style, you're right.
Probably just staying twin exhaust and obviously all the engine stuff done to it, maybe 230, 240 brake. But Mark 4s, now I own a Mark 6 Golf as the everyday work car and that. There's something about Mark 4s just unreal.
Completely agree, especially
Mark 4 and Mark 7 has to be a nice looking Golfs. The Mark 8 is like fuck all. Mark 7.5 is a nicer sort of version of the 7, but I don't like the way the R lines didn't come with the side skirts, so I would put the side skirts from a 7 to a 7.5. But that would be probably, for me, what I would,
I think I would take... Now, I really like the Mark 4s.
Yeah.
I genuinely think I would take... Because you only got the Mark 4s, you got Mark 4s and 3 doors, obviously.
Yeah.
Leons. I really like Mark 1 Leons, and even more so Toledos.
Well, Mark 1 Leon, so a sister of mine, her and her husband now, they had a Mark 1 FR that was mapped.
Ooh, that'd be quick.
Now, when they bought it, they were still like 19 grand. So the Mark 2 had barely even come out. They actually traded it, so I actually privately sold it. And then they bought a Mark 2 FR, which back then was mad. But it had exhaust and all done. And I was hoping she would lift me from like football and everything in that car because it just sounded fucking unreal.
Yeah.
And
class.
I was once told by the brother-in-law that whenever he took me around, you say 4 roads run into a square.
Yeah.
It used to be like the wee test drive route for us. And he done about 90, 100 mile an hour on it. I went, this is the closest you'll get to Need for Speed Underground 2. And I was just sitting there laughing up going like, this is fucking deadly.
Unreal. That's class.
But that just goes to show how fucking old I have gotten.
Yeah. And the fact that we're sitting here talking about the days of youth in Magherafelt Black Car Park many, many moons ago makes me feel...
Yes. To be fair,
so
modern day...
fucking old.
Magherafelt has died quite a lot. Very odd time you go into it, there's much happening on it.
I think, like, yes, you're right, but then you might randomly see Portlandone or Kilray randomly just full of cars. I don't know if Magherafelt maybe the hub, maybe not. Maybe people just
maybe not anymore. Maybe not.
There's too much place about it. I don't know.
Yeah, of course.
But
to be fair, like for a layout of a town, so we've obviously been down to like Bambridge, and you've went to other places too, and obviously there's always a lap of a town that everybody does, but like Magherafelt had the. I would say some of the nicest lapping route, as absolutely absurd as this sounds.
It was a fantastic lapping route. TripAdvisor would rate 5 out of 5.
You're a fucking cunt. You're a fucking cunt.
Magherafelt lapping route. Of all the lapping routes I have visited, this has to truly be one of the best.
All right, sure, rip the arse out of me. But you had the BCP and you had the other Meadow Lane.
Oh, the speed bump in Meadow Lane. My God.
Yeah.
I turned in the 207, before I had the hydraulics in the 207, I turned there. Police were like doing a checkpoint in Meadow Lane Car Park. And I came to the big speed bump and I was just like, nope. 3-point turn, drove out, thought nothing of it. And then they like pulled me in like Castle Dawson. And
what did they do you for?
They done me for plates in the end, but they actually searched the car because they were like,
fuck,
you've like something to hide. And I was like, I mean, they went through my car with like a fine tooth comb, like even because I had like them white effect, like they were just like the white headlights. They weren't HADs.
You just had LED bulbs in.
Yeah, so like the white effect, 6000K or something.
HADs.
They were like your mom was literally entering my engine bay searching for wires and stuff, and I was just like, "Chief, like, what are you doing here?"
Calm down. It's a 1.4.
Yeah, like, but he thought I was trying to hide some because I turned in them, but only because I was like, I am not going over that speed bump. Like,
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, probably would take the fine again over going over that speed bump.
You mightn't have got fined if you had went over the speed bump.
I'm not going to say my 207 was decked because it wasn't. They're definitely a lot lower now than they were back then. Like,
but I suppose like anything, there's always newer coilovers coming out that make things go lower.
You couldn't get them to glow at the back.
Yeah.
Unless you started doing things like cutting bump stops. Which at the time I didn't do. Now they're an old, like a a sort of an old enough car and they're cheap enough, you can do that sort of stupid shit. But like
Yeah.
back then, it was still somewhat fresh, I guess, and I
Yeah,
didn't
of
want to
course.
go doing that sort of stuff. So, but the problem is the sills hang so low on them.
So you would nearly have needed side skirts to portray how low the car was.
Yes. Well, yes and no. Like,
I find now, looking at any sort of car, it does need, the majority of them need side skirts.
yeah, I would probably agree with that, especially when they have a big front bumper, like an aggressive
But
front bumper.
if they don't have an aggressive front bumper, do not,
Do not
put
put
side skirts on.
Do not put
Because
side
there is
skirts
some
on.
people now, maybe that's their own taste, that's fair enough. But like, they have a really sort of, the front bumper slopes up to the very front of the car,
Yes.
and then they have deep side skirts on, and then the back of the car is completely on the ground.
Are you referencing Mark II Leons by any chance?
Yes, I don't.
That-
I personally
that's-
don't get this.
That I think you
Like,
need to have
whenever you
the-
take a
yeah.
photo from the back of it, yes, it does probably look savage in your eyes.
Yes.
But the front of it, just
Like the FR, like I think an FR bumper's far nicer than the BTCC. I think you disagree with that, don't you?
personally, BTCC, because like whenever you look at the car, like from the front and back, like
Yeah.
it's very low at the front,
Yeah.
and then the side skirts sort of go to the side profile. Like then we're getting into fucking technical here, but yes, that's personally why.
The FR bumper definitely does sit higher than the BTCC. So
But
you
it suits splitters,
it does, but then you tend to see people maybe putting deep skirts.
or even just the wee Votech skirts you can get for them.
They're nice.
They are
They're
very nice. They're just like they don't really sit too much lower than the car, but they're sort of just like a wee over thing for the cell, just to make it a bit smoother up, I suppose.
Yeah. And that is we've
That-
actually we did we actually so how long have we spoke for? We are on 40 minutes. Of
No, I think
Feldspec.
that's enough about Feldspec.
That's
yeah.
enough from Feldspec.
Yes.
That's enough from Feldspec.
So, the next topic for the second podcast.
Yes.
So we're decided to go. We have thought of a car for each other. First car.
No, we don't know what we thought of.
No.
Like we just literally came up with this idea a couple of minutes ago.
Yes, totally.
Funny
Off
enough,
the fly.
this video's not done in one full sweep.
And we'll look like two dicks if we pick the same car.
But you know what? We're not going to edit this bit out if we do pick the same car because that'll be funny.
That will be funny.
That's comedic effect.
Yes, of course.
So,
Can I start with you?
go ahead.
Right. You've been given by your mother a 1.2 Fox. What are you going to do with a 1.2 Volkswagen Fox? It came into my head actually because my niece
So,
got a 1.2 Fox as her first car. What are you going to do to a 1.2 Fox?
what am
Michael?
I going to do to a 1.2 Fox? So I'm 17.
Yes.
I can't get insured in anything more than like a 1.4 because
Or 1.2, you never know.
I literally can't just get insured in anything. So I've been gifted a VW Fox.
And for instance, we'll say it's grey.
So your niece's car then.
It's the first thing that popped into my head. I have actually dabbled, just a wee side note, I have dabbled. My own old car, I had set of 17s on it, and for work purposes, I did put bigger tyres on it just for clearance and that, for it was still coilovers. And it looked fucking stupid, so it did. It was far too high.
So this is the part where you're gonna. I think you may actually reach over and punch me.
Go for it.
I'm not gonna go like this level of insanity, but do you ever see like kei cars in Japan?
Aye.
So like the really wee small cars, like,
Stand
so
stout and stuff like that there.
I would go for like a set. So we're assuming that I have not unlimited money, but I have enough funds to buy a decent set of wheels.
None for insurance, but
None
enough for
yeah,
wheels.
yeah. Can't afford to pay an extra £600 insurance, but happily splash out like £1,400 a set of wheels. No bother. Do you know what? I actually think I would. So first thing I would definitely do is, what size wheels are they standard? Are they 14s?
They are, I think, yes.
So I would go either 14s or 15s.
yes.
Well, a set of like old Japanese style splits, like a set of 4 spokes.
That it would probably pull it off.
You know
yes.
what? Like, and then I would obviously buy the cheapest coilovers I could find.
Because you can't afford insurance,
Because
but you
I
can
can't
afford dear wheels.
and I've spent my money buying my wheels. So let's rule like the likes of air out of the question.
Yes, yeah.
Say like JOMs or some like dog cheap
eBay special, just coilovers.
eBay special VW coilovers. Probably one strut comes with different size to the other.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I think then, so I would definitely try and see if I could get some. So whenever you lower, I don't know if your Polo done this or if a Fox does this, but you know whenever you lower like Mark 5s and stuff, they can like tend to posi camber.
At the front, you mean?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Polos
that
do it as well.
I'm pretty sure Polos and Foxes are the same platform.
Yeah.
Because they're 5x100 fitment, so I think they're...
Oh, they're 5x1. I thought they were 4x100.
No, they're 5.
Oh, that rules out all my... Oh, Boke. Oh. Well, that's what wheel adapters are for.
You are an awkward bastard, aren't you?
I just, like, honestly, like, well, first of all...
So you go wee wheels.
Definitely.
Wee
Wheels.
wheels. Buried. And then what?
I think... Are they colour-coded front bumpers?
No.
They're not.
So you colour code the front bumper as well?
Might actually go like textured black.
Okay.
Are the rear bumpers?
I think maybe the front bumper is partially, except for, you know, the bottom splittery bit. Or, you know the bottom half of the bumper, yes. And then the back, you know, like the Mark 5 Golf, the back is textured plastic as well. So
I think what I would actually do for that is, so that means you basically, if you have that kind of splitter, you can't run any sort of front lip.
fair enough, okay.
Like, I don't think you can. Could you?
You get, well, the Cupra fits everything.
Cooper does fit everything. But for what I'm thinking of, so what's coming into my head whenever you give me that was, do you remember that old Polo from back in the day that had like the ridiculous camber? Like the was it Oni camber style or something?
Oh, do you mean the Lupo that had...
Was that a Lupo? I
the-
can't remember
the
if it was a Lupo
Lupo
or
that-
a Polo.
So you basically want to go that sort of
No,
style?
like, so I don't want to go as Asbo or as absolutely ridiculous as that. But
Yeah.
and well, I think it was in BBS's. So
I had
I'm
like
wanting
a
to go-
dish inside a dish.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that, but what I mean is like that kind of wee wheels, bit of camber at the back,
Yes.
very, very low, sort of thing, and probably. I don't think we small like hot hatches like that look right fully tinted.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So it's grey. I would keep I would like go texture. I would go for like wee small wheels, 14s. Just bury it, and then I would get an upswept tip on the exhaust.
I know what you mean, yes.
Yeah, like a wee small upset tip. And can you get like a roof spoiler for them?
You may be able to. I have never obviously researched it for... Well, I've never had that much time behind to research it, so I don't have a clue. But you probably can. It's like, more
So,
likely something.
Yeah, a wee roof spoiler. And if you really could do it,
Yeah.
clear tails.
Fair enough, yeah.
Clear tails.
So that's what's mine going to be?
I have picked for you. Do you know what a Mark 6 Fiesta looks like?
Is that the shit that there was a Fiesta van hydraulics?
Yes.
So you're thinking one of them then for me?
Yes, but a 1.25 economy.
Fair enough. That's not too bad. That's actually not too bad.
In silver.
Fair enough. Let me think. So RS, so the ST spoiler.
Yes. Yeah. They
ST
were like
spoiler.
the old ST 150s, weren't they? Or you got the ST.
It was more sticky outy. You could
yeah.
say. Whatever you call that kit, the ST line kit or something that you used to get for them, or the ST kit. Say an ST kit.
They had
right?
STs in them, didn't they?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Yeah, because they had like that. Do you remember the green one with like the checkered flag in the roof?
Yes.
Yeah, that
So-
was that. That's the style I'm talking about.
So obviously the side skirts, the rear bumper, not there from it. Probably go tint all round.
Really?
Yes.
Both
Wind
hands?
deflectors.
See, I
Let me
wouldn't
think.
go wind
Wheels.
deflectors.
They suit 17, so I'd probably put a set of Causey wheels on it.
They're 16s.
Or okay, 16-inch Causey wheels then, and obviously they're a bit the low offset, so they're going to set out a bit wider.
Yeah, I think they do a bit. Yeah.
I kind of like the Angel sort of headlights on them.
Yeah.
They're Marmite,
Yeah.
but they're okay looking. And then just probably like a twin tip or something at the back. Obviously, I would put it in coilovers. And if I had a chassis notch or whatever to get it nice and low and coilovers or whatever, then do that.
I never even thought about a chassis notch.
You have to probably chassis notch the box, to be fair. But I'll probably do that there. Now, I don't know if I'll do a back box delete or not in the exhaust.
Oh, you would, sure.
Oh, I probably would.
Absolutely. You're
Well,
18.
Yeah, well, of course, yeah.
You're
probably
18. Absolutely.
would. Then I'd probably good doubled in head unit
Yeah.
with all the bells and whistles just for handiness. And then I'd probably just leave it more or less like that. I can't really think of anything. I would actually maybe, black wrap the front bumper so it looks, the way they have it where, like what Stephen Chambers was at the time, the way the Fiesta ST bumper already has it.
Yeah.
And then
I know exactly what
Maxton
you're-
kit round, a Maxton kit on it.
Yeah.
So a lip kit on it.
Do you get Maxton kits for them?
Oh, you do.
Do you?
Oh, you do,
I couldn't,
yeah.
because it used to be back in the day, you got like triple R composites.
Maybe a triple R composite kit.
TRC kit. Yeah.
So go for that. And then I don't know if I would blacken the roof on it, but I'd probably maybe just leave it silver. And I would hope that I got a sunroof, but sure, you never know. And it would have to be a 3-door. If it was a 5-door, but like for fuck's sake.
No, I was assuming 3-door. I wasn't going to be that cruel.
That's not actually that bad a choice because
yeah, there's so many well done versions of that car.
yes, I give you very well like a very different because you never see a Fox done up.
Where did they make the Fox in Brazil or something?
Fuck knows. Like they went from the Lupo,
Yeah,
and then they had the Fox for like the Mark V shape, and then they just went
straight to the up,
Up.
wasn't it? Yeah,
and then the up was done over here and everywhere, like quite a lot.
yeah,
but then
yeah.
It looked quite well, to be fair, for all
Ups are cool. Like,
or as they called them, downs. Such a good play of words.
I actually didn't see that coming. So here's a question:
What?
would you put a subwoofer in?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right. So the time you gave me the subwoofer from the 207 that time,
That was a great subwoofer.
it was fucking.
was so good.
I was fucking raging that it broke on me, but
Oh, sorry.
no, like it broke like after 3 years of usage all the time. So
I'd like
me
to
and
say
another
it's
mate,
due to your shape music taste, but you have the same music taste as me.
I had the gain turned up wild lot, so you had like the boom effect.
Boof, boof, boof.
Outside Kelly's one night in the Polo, and a busload of ones came off, and just for the sheer crack, I think one of our mates was there as well at the time in another car, and yeah, I turned up the music for a bit of crack, and I think the half of the bus was jumping around. They were probably airlocked, but they were jumping around the car, and I thought it was hilarious until they walked away and went into Kelly's and went, "Fuck, why am I doing this?"
Yeah, but living in the moment. So, like, whenever...
Well, we done some stupid stuff like whenever we were younger.
Well, like, whenever I put the subwoofer in my car, I think it was 2012.
It was probably one of the first things then you done.
I think it was. So maybe 2013 then, because... I done the wheels first. Didn't I?
I don't know. Well, we weren't really close back then.
No, I think I might have done the subwoofer first, actually. And dubstep was still kind of...
I fucking hated it.
I kind of ironically liked it.
You would.
I did.
You fucking would.
I did like dubstep until it became so samey, which is ironic considering I listen to hardstyle, and it all sounds the same. But different kinds of same, but you know what I mean. And it used to be like when I had that subwoofer in, like it between dubstep and like one of like A Millie by Lil Wayne. Amelie.
Yes.
And it used to, when the bass kicked in and that, it was just boom. And it used to be, I'd just be like telling people, I'd be like, sit in my car and listen to this. And now looking back, that maybe sounds kind of creepy, but like, I should have thought about that before he said that.
You creepy bastard.
But
Come
like,
in my standard 207 to let you feel vibrations. And then you go ask the question, oh my god, lad, you've done up 2.7. The people like the ladies like this, and you're like, yes.
do you know what? Like, everyone used to say to you whenever you were like driving about, like whenever you were like 20 or whatever driving.
What are you going to come out with?
It used to be like, but you see the same, so you actually see the same meme with like people talking about the gym and maybe people talking about like MMA or different things, and everyone's like,
You're definitely searching up different stuff to me.
No, it's literally like people always would say to you, like whenever I was younger and like I was driving about in the 207, because for what it was back then, it was a bit different and it was kind of cool. And people would have been like, oh lad, you must love some woman in this thing. And I was like,
no.
Nope. Same as like you see the memes of like the guys who go to the gym and it's like expectation, and it's like this boy like flexing his muscles and it's like all these girls going, oh you're amazing, and then like reality it's just all these boys going, nice bruh, looking fresh. And it's the same, like you think like I think like maybe some people think whenever they do up their car and they're all like, oh, I'm gonna lift some woman now, like, and it's just like all you're gonna get is people just going, looks well.
Maybe some people do. Maybe some people do. But not me. And maybe not you.
I just don't like up for the port, like.
I only did it because I fucking liked it.
Well, yeah, of course, like that. But
That's obviously
where it all
the reason
stemmed
why we
from.
do. But
So that's the So first cars. It's quite. Did you see what do you think I was going to give you?
oh no, you're asking one. Do you want to know the car I had in my head for you to begin with?
EP2.
No,
Really?
Fiat Pinto.
Why? I actually was thinking for you, like a Fiat Bravo.
You know how good it is? I'm not even sure what the fuck that even is.
I wonder, am I getting them mixed up now too?
I don't know, but no. As we were thinking of it, I was like, oh, go some totally left field, because obviously you can't be just talking about something that you realistically, if you had a first car now, you'd be like, oh, Mark 4 Golf or Mark 5 Golf or something along those lines, something handy, whatever. But
the reason I actually didn't get something like a Mark 4 Golf back in the day was because, well, even back then, a low mileage example was hard to get, and this is 2011.
But is your parent not like really against Volkswagens? I had this discussion with her before, and she's French cars, Peugeot, and says about the reliability and that, and I'm like, really?
Well, I actually wanted like either, so I looked at them again. 1.5 DCA.
Actually, just before you say anything else,
Depot.
what first car did you actually want when you were 18?
Mark 5 Golf.
Really?
Yeah.
And if you had the Mark 5 Golf, what would you have done to it?
GTA front, R32 rear.
Yes,
Deep skirts.
of course.
A5s.
Yes.
Obviously straight pipe.
A relative of mine had a white Mark 5 and A5s, but anyway, continue, yes.
Like just
19s, obviously, or 18s.
19s.
19s, yes.
Or Alfords.
Alfords looks so
Alfords.
good.
Alfords.
Memphis looks so good on them.
Oh, Memphis's were class. This is back before the day. If you were to ask me now, it would be Vemans, those VFS 31s, the 5-spokes.
Yes.
But back then, if you're talking for me when I was 18, that's what I would have wanted. Would have been a Mark 5, but just insurance was just completely out of the question, and I wanted something, as we kind of discussed in last week's podcast. Fortunate enough in a position where it was like, yeah, we'll sort you something. Now everything I've had to do myself since has been all funded by me, so is what it is.
Well, you're not really going to go to your ma, can I have hydraulics?
No.
How much are they, son? Oh, they're not wild here. How much? about 2,500.
26.30, I think I put in John Peyton's pocket at the time. But
And what do they do? Well, they make a car go up and down. And what do you want that for?
I can actually remember when I come home with the hydraulics, I talked about getting, and my mom was like, "You're not doing that," and I was like, "Because, like, she was like, you're not allowed to lower that car," and so obviously,
Well, sure. Like,
do you know how I actually like?
how did you break the lowering?
So I put the wheels in the car first. My mom was all like, whenever I put the wheels on, my mom was like, "This is deadly. Like, you're spending your money in your car. Like, that's lovely to see. You're taking so much pride in it." No, Mum thought the wheels. Mum was like, "I don't care if you get windows tinted or put wheels on it or put all the stickers of the day on it.
Just don't
I
lower
just
it.
don't want you to lower it." And then I was coming up the lane after I got it lowered, and Mum was like, "I have to say, Michael, the car's looking very, very nice now." And I was like, "Yeah."
Little do you know.
That's because I lowered it, and Mum just went, "Oh, for fuck's sake." So badass here, like, you know, like,
Oh, rebel.
yeah,
Hey,
pure rebel. Yeah, I still feel, sometimes I feel like a dick being like, "Oh yeah, I had the first car bought to me," but
See, I was the same.
fortunate position to be in, I suppose.
I was in the same fortunate position. And also, my parents were totally, utterly against it.
Oh yeah.
So my brother would tell you all the stories of the day about how fast he can go certain places, and he's like, well, "Why would you be bothered with lowering the car?" And I was just like, "I would rather have it look good than go good."
Yeah.
At the time, sure, you couldn't go too hard.
Farm over function.
Totally. Sure. How did I break it? Oh, the subwoofer weighs a while lot, in the back seats. Oh, that is another story in itself. Us lowering the Polo, but
We could probably do a full podcast on the
Oh.
stupid mistakes we made. Like, you kind of got a bit of a. I think we maybe did talk. I can't remember if it was in the outtakes or whether it was we talked about it last week. But like some of the stupid shit we've done, we'll not even get into it because you'd ruin the podcast, like future podcast, future us would be raging that we mentioned it right now. But
like, you could say, my ideal first car to have when I was 18
yes,
makes me sound like a complete diehard for an EP, but an EP2.
but do you know what? Like,
Because
when you're 18 or 17 and you can put Type R wheels on it.
you can basically make it look like a Type R, and I can mind in school, anytime you got a chance in the computer, you were looking at Auto Trader to see how dear they were, and you were like, "Oh, the Polo's worth so much, I could totally sell that." But for me, it was just the fact that, it made the noise, it looked, but obviously it wasn't a Type R.
Yeah, but I mean, I get it. I get it. Like, I have to say, whenever I was like 17 as well, I took a wild notion of looking at Type R's in the Auto Trader as well.
Did you not nearly at a stage nearly swap the 207 for a Type R?
Aye, EK9.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was still on the hydraulics at the time. And I was actually, at the time, your fella backed out, but I was actually going to go down to wild low money. It was a standard car. Well, it's still the interior in it and the hydraulics.
Yeah.
And I was looking $3,000 for the car, and then I was looking some like £1,800 for the hydraulics.
Yes.
And your man had left to me that we would swap this EK9. This is no bullshit, but this is 2015, so this is back when. And your man wanted 4.2.
It's coming on 8 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your man wanted 4.2 for this EK9. 4.2, and I was like, "Fuck, that's wild big money for a Civic. Championship white EK9."
A genuine EK9.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, or so.
Like this is the thing. Back then they were worth nothing. Like I was like that's a lot of money. Like that's expensive.
See, when I heard that, when you said that, I was like, "That's fucking deadly."
But like at the time, I was like, "Look, I'm wanting 4.8 for my 207 with the hydraulics."
Yeah.
And this boy's wanted to swap and coming in at 4.2, and I was actually kind of close to doing it because I was like, it'd be fun to have a
So
car.
did he back out or did you back out?
I think he ended up just selling the car private.
Yeah.
So then he didn't need a car after that. But I suppose the whole idea of the 207 I was trying to sell it was like, oh, I'll maybe do someone who's lost the license and wants something that's on hydraulics and cheap to insure and cheap to run. And
Yeah,
for
of course.
A while. So, like, but yeah, end up just taking everything out of it and then selling it on.
to a family member,
Yeah,
and then you got it back.
yeah, and sold it again.
Many miles is on the 207.
I bought it with 18,
Yeah.
sold it at 74, and then when we sold it the second time, we sold it with 84.
That's low.
Yeah.
That is low.
Nothing on it, like.
Considering that I had the Polo from 12,500 miles, and the very first year it was actually in use. So it was bought by a couple, and they had two Polos, and the wife owned my car,
Yes.
and she only drove it to the shop and back. So in the first year, I got his first service at 495 miles.
Jesus Christ.
And the second service was done at like 1,400. And then, so I think then they traded the two cars in and just got one newer one out again, because obviously there was no real need for her to
single
get
family car. Yeah.
And the first couple of years, well, I lowered it at 37,000 and sold it at 175,000, and it's still going to this day. To be fair, I never put a clutch on it.
I can't understand how you done 178,000 miles in the car and didn't put a clutch on it, especially with how you used to drive.
True.
Like, there was a way we didn't want to give you keys to the cars.
It wasn't that bad. Well, well.
Gear linkage 306.
Well, it was on the way out.
It was. I think it was maybe a common problem on them as well, to be fair.
Probably was, and then I happened to be the dick that had to be driving it whenever it did go.
Boom! Ah, shit.
So, actually, that car got its first set of brake discs from new at 140 or 50,000 miles. I got that long out of the brake discs. They weren't changed. They were really low, like they were like what my Golf is now.
How are you not hearing like from 80,000 miles?
I had the very big habit of when I came anywhere at all, it was
engine braking.
So I literally changed from fifth to fourth and so on till I came to the end of the road.
Yeah.
And like I suppose the worst of my driving would have been like if you're going to Belfast or that, I would have been in and out of lanes. Just had a wee game with myself to see how much traffic I could skip.
Don't we all do that?
Well, apparently, other mates were following me and they were like, "You're a fucking mad bastard in this."
All right, okay, maybe you were. You're not painting the picture for yourself.
I sound like a rash man, but now I'm a granda.
Yeah, you've changed. You have. You've changed.
Suppose so. Well, I suppose you have to grow. The car, whenever I was using it as the main work car, so I was driving father's Jeep for about 6 months, and then decided to go back to the Polo.
Yes.
Main reason, like a Jeep, 2 tires was costing what 4 cost the other car. It was all relatively much cheaper to run that. But like, it just fucking like I think the only thing that really went on it after it sitting for 9 months or so, 6 months, was the cat, the exhaust manifold.
Oh, it cracked, didn't it?
It cracked and there was a bad blowout. But all are not there. The car never.
That car gave you no hassle other than.
To be fair though, I did. So to keep it static low, to drive it as low as it was, I had to actually. So whenever I was coming to a really bad bump, before I actually got a chassis notch to go run static, I had to turn right when I came to a bad bump so that it shifted the weight of the car to the left hand side. And I drove about where like the car bashing off from the drive shaft bashing off for about 3 years.
That's right. You didn't do it for a lifetime.
And then I was afraid to do it. And then I got the chassis notch done, but it was done nearly like slightly too far forward, so the actual drive shaft was still the drive shaft was still like obviously hitting it, and then I got it buffed back a bit, and it was. And I never went through a set of drive shafts either.
I remember my Bora, whenever I lowered like the first Bora, used to like you'd turn a corner, you hear the clicking, and the just hitting the chassis like.
But I never done a sump. Just 3 sets of coilovers. Kept the original back springs. I just kept using them for the new ones. Cut bump stops. No helpers, and the adjuster was hanging off at the bottom, and then I put the top adjuster over the bottom adjuster and pushed the bottom one back so it didn't hit the wheel, and tightened it down tight against where the actual drop link should bolt onto. so it couldn't go physically any lower than it was, and there was cut bump stops in the front too.
Do you know? I actually had when you talk about cutting. No, I actually in the Sierra had to. I know we're kind of getting away from first cars, but it's sort of in the same line as what we're talking about. So Sierra, to get them to go low at the rear, if you want to go the budget route, you put a set of focus coilovers in the front.
Yes,
but focus coilovers don't fit the rear of a Sierra. It's a completely different setup.
of course.
So what you do is you get a set of Renault Master shocks out of I think it's an 88 202 Renault Master van.
Right.
And you cut the standard springs. But because Master shocks are so much smaller, like standard Sierra shocks are like that fucking length, like they're massive. Master shocks.
They're like a fucking Lexus then. Whenever you take an AS200 standard spring out, you're like, holy fuck it, the length of this thing.
Huge. And then you realise why Lexus sits so high standard. But like, so they always say when you're doing Sierra and you have to cut the springs, don't cut it as low as you want to cut it because it'll
bed
drop.
in.
So, first time I'd done it, I was like, right, okay, and cut it one spring, fine. Cut it another spring, or cut it another half, and was like, I was like, could go a bit lower, and I was like, fuck it, be fine. Bang, full coil straight off, down 2.5 springs, and then I was like looking at it, and I was like, this is fine, yeah, that's a good height, that's good. And then come back and looked at it like a couple of hours later and was like, and this is back when I had the Futuras on and like they were quite a wide wheel.
Yes.
Yeah. And they kind of ended up causing a bit of hassle with my rear arch, but that's another story for another day. And what I did in the end, and like if I had ever been stopped by the cops in that Sierra, like
and you call me a rash man.
I don't know if they'd have noticed.
But
to raise it up a bit.
What did you do?
I got a jigsaw.
Right.
And a bit of MDF. That
Right.
was about that thick. And I cut it out in the size.
Oh,
of
you're a
spring
fucking
holder.
dick.
And I sprayed it black.
Oh, fuck's sake.
I lifted up the spring and set it in, and the spring sat on it.
Did it work?
On one hand, yes. On one hand, no. It didn't. The wheel didn't hit the arch anymore.
But
It still hit it one time going down a slope and managed to blow all the Isopon out of the back arch that I didn't know was there.
I thought that was metal. That's not metal.
No, it's like
That's not supposed to do
the
that.
other side was starting to go, but they're all fixed now. But like the other side was starting to go, but and I was like, oh, that's the bad side.
No.
That was the good side.
Fuck's sake.
The bad side was the side that looked good. So it's just boom, fucking China plates everywhere. Like, and it's just like, yikes. And then that's why we put the bike sticker over it that time.
And people will give you death with it.
I hated it.
It was shite looking.
I hated it.
But I suppose obviously it served the
I
purpose.
couldn't afford to spray the car, like so.
Holy fuck. Some of the things you do. Me turning right for 3 years. You putting a block of wood into a spring.
Like that's not even the half of it. Realistically, we'll go on a full podcast about. Like, did we not say earlier on we would go on a full podcast about some of the stupid shit we've done?
Oh, totally, yeah.
And like
I inherently, because of like cars not there, because of the cars haven't done as much stupid shit. But by God, I'd grill you whenever we do it.
You might remember some of the stuff I've done. There's so many things I don't even remember. And then the thing is, there'd be people that
You somehow made a turbo Chua seatbelt.
Oh, we discussed that last week. That's old news. But there'll be people that go, "Oh, that's nothing. I've done this." And at some point, I'd love to kind of hear all them stories.
Sure, the Polo spring to get the coilover in at the time.
Well, no.
We'll just leave it.
Save it.
Fair
Save
enough.
it. I think before we dig ourselves any more holes and start revealing
Yeah.
more stuff, wrap it up.
Wrap it up, yes.
So
Thanks very much, everyone, for listening to the podcast in episode 2. And
I hope, really, to be fair, you've had as much fun listening to it as we have making it. Like, we're enjoying it.
oh, totally, yeah.
We're sitting doing here what we do anyway.
Yeah.
We just sit and talk shit and reminisce about things. So to do it in camera is
It's different, but sure.
It's different.
Bit of
and
crack.
We're trying to learn how to sort of adapt our camera personalities. But
If anybody's seen this setup, they would think it was proper
oh
Irish
my
Spec.
god! Just to give you an idea, at the minute we're using axle stands as camera holders.
It works.
Here, it's working. Is right. But yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
If you decide that you want to follow either of us on the socials, I'm Michael Scullin _ I'll put that here. Hopefully, when you see this in the camera, it'll be pointed below me. And you are
Conor.Magoo on Instagram.
So you actually remember this week, because last week you forgot that too.
I was forgetting it, but then I was like, he'll correct me if I'm wrong anyway.
But yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks very much anyway for
joining us.
listening.
All the best.
All the best and have a nice day.
See you later.
Peace out.